Hello, everybody, and welcome. It is Thursday evening. It's a little bit later than I know Nino and Nico normally do it, but hopefully we'll get these out for the punters Thursday night. I want to thank Nino for being accommodating. It's been a very busy day here at soccershop.bet all day. We had live streaming. We've also done a daily news preview with Mike Wanklin out of Dubai and Graham Hawkins. And now the king of PE, the king of tipping down there is Nino. And it's not an easy card. That's what we've got to start with. There's some out-of-town visitors, Nino, which makes things interesting.
Yeah, good evening, Nico. Yeah, absolutely. Race 7 you're talking about.
Yes, race 7, yeah, where you've got Spieth runners, Crawford runners, Tarry runners, unusual.
And Candace Bass Robinson as well.
Absolutely. So we'll talk a little bit about that. But by and large, an interesting card. And most importantly, of course, we're on the Fairview turf, where you have numerous success and hopefully more tomorrow.
Well, Neil, let's just hope it doesn't rain and the races stay on the turf.
Well, let's get straight into it. I've typed up your selections and we're going to show those with the public. You've got a bipod, which is very affordable. It's only a 24 rand bipod, so if punters wanted to add, they can do, but Nino's normally pretty accurate. So let's get straight into it. Confirmation that we are on the surface. I'm actually going to just stop sharing that and go to the bigger one because we should have a bigger picture here. Somebody said that it was a bit too small on our last one that we did. So this might be a bit better. Let's have a look. If we're full, there we go. That's much better. We can see them nice and big. So the first race, you've gone for this horse that you like, Corin Blixen in race 1. 9, 10, 11, 8 is your selection. And you're bankering 9, Corin Blixen, who's the daughter of Coup de Gras from the Candace Bass Robinson, bankering that in your bipod.
Neil, yes, I'm bankering that. And if you analyze this form, you will see why. She's had 4... I believe that that Cape Town form line is very, very strong. If you just have a look, first time out, 2 lengths behind Europeana. And let's just say that before Europeana won her maiden, she ran third to a horse called Gimme That. That horse is still unbeaten. It's won 2 out of 2. Then she came to P and ran third in a feature race. Second run, 2 lengths behind Bye Bye Bombshell. That's come out and run second twice. Then she ran in a minor feature at Durbanville behind Mars Vigilante, who, by the way, was winning his second start and still unbeaten. And the last run, 3 lengths behind Maria Querol, that came out to win on when was Cape Racing on Tuesday. And Maria Querol actually beat Bye Bye Bombshell on Tuesday. So this form line is extremely strong. And I actually had a look at the betting, and I think she's around 16 to 10, which I think is tremendous value. And all I can advise the people that are wanting to take doubles with this horse, or they should get in fast, because I think she's going to be deep in the red, but come race time tomorrow.
Okay, yes, Corin Blixen, with all the form in the world, I agree with you. There's multiple layers of form there, and she's expected to go close. So 9, 10, 11, and 8, but critically for the bipod, Nino's going to bank her. Now, the second race, again, we're going for a 2-year-old. We actually got a 2-year-old filly in the form of 11, Rose of Bayou. She's a daughter of William Longsword. Now, this is from the Johan Janse van Vuren stable, no less. And taking on with the other obvious local horse, number 7, Global Design. He ran at very big odds. He ran a cracking debut, 4th behind Razor Red, and was flying at the finish.
Yeah, Nico, I think it's a 2-horse race. I've gone with the Joburg horse. He's had a couple of more runs. I think he should be a little bit stronger, but the 7 was finishing very strongly over the 1,000, and it seems like the 12 is going to suit him even better. I believe this is a 2-horse race, and that's all I'm going in the bipods. In actual, I'm very confident that we might even be doubling up there. And then for the trifecta and quartet, maybe a number 6 first train. I think that could run into the trifectas, and number 5 into the back ends of the quartets.
Okay, so 11, 7, 6, 5 there for the bipod. 7 and 11 will suffice. Now on to the third race, the Racing Association Maiden Plate. Interesting here, I mean, an obvious horse, number 8, the Black Manx, who's the son of Black Minilush, out of a National Assembly mare. So beautiful pedigree, and Luke Ferraris rides here. But you've gone for Double Digit, whose form is not great, but I suppose that's indicative of this form. It's a weak field. I don't think it'll take too much winning.
Absolutely, Nico. I mean, Neil, I've gone for the 8 to win, by the way, but I think the 9 is a big danger. We know Janssen Confident, when he brings horses down to P, he means business. And he's had 2 runs. I know they are bad runs, but I'm looking for big improvement, because the rest of the field is not very strong. So for me, the run that impresses me, the Black Manx, is the run behind Spring Awakening. We know that also has come and won 2 races in a row in Cape Town lately. So that is strong form. And then also Gimme Aces, she ran behind the Justin Snaith horse, which is very strong form when you compare it to the runners that she's running against tomorrow. And then for back ends of trifectas and quartets, one could consider number 3, Conquistador, and number 1, Own Your Fate. But I'm very confident the winner would come from 8 or 9. Or from 8, but I'm looking for I'm looking for a big improvement from the Johan Janssen Confidence horse, Neil.
Okay, yeah, and understandably so. It really is quite a weak field. And I think you could almost say the same for race 4. There's not much in race 4, but apart from number 7, Immaculate, who doesn't have much form at all, is the next bunch are just that, maiden plate fillies and mares, and closely handicapped. But you've gone fairly wide in the bipod, as I think one must. You've gone 1, 2, and 3. Lucy Bell, 2, Bend Not Break, who's a 4-year-old daughter of Invincible Spirit. And then the Water Winters, who are doing very well at the moment. And this is number 3, Big Hello. So 1, 2, 3, and 5, the order of selection for you in race 4, Nino.
Yes, Neil. And if you have a look at Lucy Bell, 7 runs, 7 places against very strong opposition in Joburg. My only concern, slight concern, I don't know how she's traveled down, how long she's been in there, and she's, it's not as if she came down with a regional trainer. She's now gone to from the Alexandras down to paddock. But I do believe that Alexander has been keeping his horses fit, and they've been going to stables, fit horses and ready to run. So if she's anywhere near best, I mean, she should pulverize this field.
Yeah, and interesting, the owner, hey, that's Jason Nestat, who is Larry Nestat's son, and loves his racing, those boys. So it's good in the all turquoise. So Jason Nestat, the owner, and I had heard a few whispers that he sent a few down to Grand Paddock, and this is certainly going to be a live wire. So I think you're on the right one there. 1, 2, 3, but you can't totally trust it, just in case it might need the run. Hence, you're going to add the 2 and the 3 in the bipod. I'm
adding the 2, the extra cock horse. He ran a much improved race last time. I think you'll be better suited tomorrow. You'll be stronger. And the Water Winter horse, the ex-Goossens horse, now with the Zietsman. But, if people want to take a chance and bank a Lucy Bell, they could probably do that. Provided the horse is taken the traveling well, I think it's going to be a very hard horse to beat.
Okay, I agree with you there. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, 3, 5. The selections from Nino, and for the bipod 1, 2, and 3. The bipod is very affordable because in the next race, Nino's only gone the 2 horses. This is the 95 divided handicap race 5 on the program. Number 4 is the daughter of Flower Alley, Santa Therese. And number 5 is a very interesting filly, 2 Fat to Fly, who's won 5 times. And although she's 6 years of age, she's very capable. And she's in a rich vein of form as well, is 2 Fat to Fly. So 4 and 5 in that order for you in race 5. Your full selection, 4, 5, 2, 3.
Neil, yes, Santa Teresa, her form is faultless. She's she's a very good horse and very impressive in all the runs, especially the last run when she beat Glenn Cosson Raider, Musical Glitch, who came out to win. Slight concern is that she's only been running against her own age group, as far as I know. But the runs behind Global Drummer, she beat Joyful Nose. I think this horse is going to be up to the toss. It's a very strong selection, but just a doubt that she's taking on stronger tomorrow. I've coupled her up with Too Fat to Fly in the bipod. But she is a strong selection. I think she's getting better and better. She loves the course and distance, and I think she's gonna be up to the task tomorrow, and she's gonna beat the older horses.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at some of the older horses, they're pretty well exposed, aren't they? The Gimme Hope Joannas, the Pretty Ballerinas, the Virtuosas, they've all had chances. They're all 5-year-old mares or 6-year-old mares. So they might have had their day, whereas, as you say, Santa Teresa is very much on the up and up. She's a beautifully bred daughter of Flower Alley out of a Tiger Ridge mare. So I think she's got a lot in her tank still. Interesting to see Stephen Gell still retained a share of her number 4, Santa Teresa. So 4 and 5 there. Then we go on to the Fairview 1400. And
by the way, Neil, can we just go a second back to that race? People might wonder why Greg Sheen is not riding it, and I don't think it's by choice. I think he has to ride Wallace Simpson because he's contracted to ride for those owners.
Yes.
So I don't think it's by choice. I think he's forced to ride. I'm sure if he had the choice of rides, he would be on Santa Teresa. So not to worry too much about that.
Yes, 100%. You're quite right. He's retained by Ridgemont, by the kids' vetters. So as you can see with Wallace Simpson, he rides that regularly all the time. So yeah, an interesting aside there. And I think that Nino is spot on. Speaking of horses that should perform well and are on the up and up, I think this horse Snow Report is going to take a power of beating in the Fairview 1400. It's a non-black type feature. And this horse, Snow Report, another son of What a Winter, has been running behind the likes of Casimir, Nexus, Pinkerton. Even earlier on, he was good enough to run in the Guineas, the Kilindini Guineas. Now he's wound up in Fairview with some good form, and he looks hard to oppose for Candice Bass Robinson.
And he's a 1400 meter specialist. This horse only wins over 1400. To me, impossible to beat. I said this about Regimental on even though I think that was the only winner I tipped on Monday. When was
Tuesday?
On Monday,
Yeah,
was the Tuesday. On Tuesday. I think this falls in the same bracket. I do believe that people can take the double that I put up on board, the two Bass's horses. I think she's going to win both races. I think this is a banker in all bets. And again, I don't know what's going to run second, third, or fourth. I think Sailing Ship should be there or thereabouts. And number 2, the Highwayman. I know he goes fast up front. If he doesn't tire, he could end up in the placings as well. But I am very confident of Snow Report winning the race.
So there it is, confirmation. It's on screen. The best bets for Dino tomorrow, Friday the 28th. Race 1, number 9, Corin Blixen, on to the other Bass Robinson runner, race 6, number 1, Snow Report, and you'll get a nice double price there. This full selection is 1, 5, 2, and 6, but as you see, the last leg of the bipod, he has bankered number 1, Snow Report, and that perm is just 24 Rand. So if you wanted to second guess him anyway, you can easily add something because it's very affordable. He's made it very affordable to do so. But Dino likes it, and he likes it strong for 24 Rand. Now, let's move on to... Thank heaven the bipod ends in race 6, because the 7th race, the Milkwood Stakes, Dino, is a nightmare. Very, very open.
Well, if this was the last leg of the bipod, I think people would seriously consider taking at least 10 horses.
Yeah.
Neil, I've made a selection, and I've asked you before the show to try and help me or help the listeners because I've got no confidence. The only thing we can assess a card, I think it's a very difficult task for number 1, Joyful Noise, a 3-year-old carrying 60 kilos if she ain't coming from a number one draw, I think she's almost got an impossible task. I cannot see her winning, but I've been wrong before. My selection, I'm going with Candice Bass Robinson North again. Iris, I think she's improving. I like the run behind when she ran third to Kitty Cat Chat, and the last time she easily beat Social Butterfly over the Kenilworth 1,000 meter. But I also maybe I found a nice value bet in the form of number 7, Miracle Flight. Ignore the last run, she ran against an absolute champion in Rio Karari. And I think the way she runs, at the Fairview Turf and 10,000, she's very fast, and I think it's going to suit her. But maybe you can shed more light on these horses, Nika. I'm sure you've seen them run in Joburg. There's quite a few. There's Spring Break and True Charm, and
Yes.
there's another one like Corner Spieth, Before the Dawn, and Boomsa Daisy could also cause a big upset. I'm just not too keen on the jockey, but yeah. And
Yeah, I think this race is wide open. I think, as you say, if it was the bipod, you'd have to go at least 6 horses, minimum 6 horses. Like you, I would take on Joyful Noise. The horse I thought might offer a little bit of value is one you mentioned there, number 5, Before the Dawn. And one of the reasons why, not only is she on her best form, this daughter of Oratorio, she's beaten Anna Capri and she's run behind Sing for Rafa and Rapid Fire. And she's got Louis and Cotwell on who's riding very well. But as you know, Jean Nel had 4 winners on Tuesday.
Stable.
That yard is in form.
I was just going to say that. As you can see, I've tipped it for 4th. The stable is in devastating form.
Yeah, so I think that might run above its odds and run above its form, number 5, Before the Dawn, particularly in an open race. But I wouldn't put you off the 12 for sure, Iris, because she's a daughter of Gimme the Green Light out of the Rocket Gibraltar mare, and she's got a lot of positives for her. But it does look like a trappy race for sure. So if folks are taking a jackpot, you'd go very wide here, right?
Yeah, I would. And just quickly, your thoughts on Miracle Flight?
So Miracle Flight I've gone for before, Nino. I've gone for a couple of times, and she's let the side down. Bearing in mind she started off, she ran in the Tony Rufflebine Springs of Carmel, and then she ran second in the Joburg Nursery. Ever since then, apart from the one flash in the pan behind Montbella, she's been very expensive to follow. She's been disappointing, but a change in location might help her, and Ian Leviton and Paul Peter have decided to send her down here. So she did, to be fair, she's been running behind True to Life and Rio Quirari, who would obviously be racing certainties, either one of them in this field. So she's dropping in class for sure, and I think you're right, she might be competitive. So, but she needs to bounce back to some of that excellent form that saw her run a place in the nursery as 2. But I think in this kind of lineup, she can be effective for sure.
Okay.
Let's move to the 8th race, shall we?
I was just looking further up when she beat the Wawi Princess and ran 3rd and 2nd to Prince of Carmel. I thought maybe that kind of form could give her a bit of a chance. But thanks for your insight anyway, Neil.
I would certainly be putting her in the exotics for sure, and in your play. I wouldn't leave her out because she's capable of bouncing back. But she's a 3-year-old filly. She's got to give 1.5 kilograms to the 4-year-old Spring Break, who has got a chance. I would go field there. I would take absolutely no chances in my jackpots. But as far as value is concerned, I think you might be right with Miracle Flight in there and the 5 Before the Dawn. Right, let's go on to the last race, shall we? And here you're going for Alaskan Fate. Lyle Hewitson and Gavin Smith was very impressive in winning last time. Absolutely trotted up and beat Beyond Temptation. And she's gone up to 6 points, but she could easily win again.
Yeah, she could, Neil. Let's just hope she can transfer the polyform to the turf. And the same applies to number 1, Ariabata. The ex-Canamea horse, she came to form last time on the poly. She won very, very easy, beating Zeta Jones, who then ran Zeta Jones, who won a maiden, the ex-Glen Cotson horse. She's drawn 12, a bit of a bad draw. And so let's just hope she can bring her A game to the turf. But I do believe that between 1, 2, 4 and 5, we could have the winner. So, you know, it's a leg where people could go a bit short, maybe just add one other one. But I'm quite confident that the winner would come from one of those 4 horses.
Yeah, they certainly seem to have form. Arabiata, actually, I backed last time, so she did me a favor. The only problem this time is she's got a draw of 12 to overcome, which is not ideal. I think you might be on the right filly, because Alaskan Fate had been pretty consistent and had been running on well. And that last victory, I'm sure, has given her a lot of confidence, because she absolutely thumped the opposition, and she was heavily supported in the betting.
Yeah, she came in for a lot of money, and she did win very, very easy. Let's just hope, like I said, that she handles the turf tomorrow, and then she'll be a big runner. She's well drawn, not too badly drawn at 7. She's got Lyle Lewitson up, and everything in the favour.
Okay, Nino, we're going to leave it there. I just want to leave it on screen quickly. I'm sure by now everybody's got the numbers, but I want to repeat the bipod. It's just 24 Rand, and Nino is pretty confident. His 2 bankers are actually the numbers that bookend the bipod. He's bankered 9, Corin Blixen in the first leg, and he's bankered Snow Report in the last. And between the 2 legs, it looks like it should behave itself. So he's got a 24 Rand perm, banker 9, by 7 and 11, by 8 and 9, by 1, 2 and 3, by 4 and 5, by 1, just 24 Rand, that bipod. And yeah, fortunately, the bipod dodges, which is without a shadow of a doubt the toughest race on the card, which is race 7. So we'll tread warily there.
Unfortunately, it's part of both jackpots and the Pick 6. That's the bad news.
Yeah, it is, but we've already ascertained that that's where we've got to go wide, so we know that. Nino, thanks as always for standing in. I know you had a busy week this week with Tuesday and Friday racing, but thanks again for the bipod numbers, and have a great day's racing tomorrow.
Thanks, Neil. It's a pleasure. And just to give you some bad news, there's another meeting on Monday.
Okay, we'll send Nico a message to come out of hospital and to get himself ready for Monday. That'll be an incentive for him to improve.
And it's not a very nice card.
Okay, the good news keeps coming. There we go. But fortunately, Nino, very bullish about tomorrow. He says take the double with his best bets. Thanks to Nino. Thanks for watching. This is the Clocking the Gallop preview for Fairview Turf on Friday.
Cheers, Neil. All the best.
Yes.